What's up, guys? I got, I believe it's a '07 Pontiac Grand Prix. Grand Am, Impalas. Bunch of stuff I was set up the same way. We got a power steering leak. I put some fluid in the reservoir. Came over to me with no power steering. And I could hear it going, tss, you know, kind of like gurgling out somewhere. Lifted her up in the air. And I pretty much knew where my leak was going to be. And it is right up in here. I have taken this hose, it goes to there, and then it connects to here. I took the clamp off, see it's got a little nipple on there. Most of these hoses are metal for the return and pressure. You got your pressure right here, running along this aluminum subframe here. Now, this one came out of it, most of them are metal, but this one's actually rubber on this style. So the return, if you have the metal style, you could actually use a rubber hose because it's return, lower pressure. The pressure side, you're going to have to use metal. But if you had the full metal style, you can actually cut it and put a hose on it. If you got some sort of flaring tool or something, that works best. I don't know if a clamp would work if you straight cut it. But for this one, what we're going to do, I don't have any hose available right now. I don't have any that size in my spare hose bucket. What I want to use, I want to cut out this bad section and use a barb. But I am fresh out of barbs, guys. I've got barbs with threads on the other end. What you want is two barbs coming out both sides. So in my spare fittings tray, I got this guy. It's got some flares on it and it's the right size. So that's what I'm going to use to connect this hose back together. This is super common power steering leak area. A lot of times like this pressure hose will rot out and start spraying or leaking, seeping. This time it's a return hose and it got chewed up by the CV axle, rubbing up against the CV axle because it popped out of its home. So to fix this, cut that bad section out. Then put your barbs in, your double-sided barb. Use some hose clamps. Then when you run it back, let's see here, it's supposed to go under the axle. When you run it back, what you're going to want to do is, so the clamp is no good that was holding it down. So to keep it from popping back into that axle, we're going to use a zip tie to keep it back down there. So I don't think I need to show the repair on this one. Cut that chunk out, put yourself a barb in, hose clamp it, run it the right way, clamp it back on, and then make sure you use a zip tie or two to keep it down so it doesn't get chewed up by that CV axle. I've repaired a lot of these with the metal lines, and yeah, it's super common. If a power steering leak's gonna happen on these Pontiacs, GM Chevys with this style, which they used them for a long time, late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. This is where your power steering leak is gonna be. Even late 2000s, yeah, I did a, God, I wanna say it was 2008, 2009 Impala. Same style, not too long ago. That's where your power steering leak's gonna be. Most of the time, and most of the time it's rotted out. In this case, it was the hose got chewed up by the CV axle because it popped out of its holder. That's how you fix them. So if you get the solid metal line, then go ahead and replace it all the way up. You can buy it, and it is a pain to route because the return runs all the way back through there. So you got to take you know, your splash guards and stuff out and do a little finagling, but you can get that return line in if it's a solid one-piece style. Well, do it.